Alright, this is Bombastic Blake, about to jump into a call with Zion ThatKidDouglas. There we go. Hello, Douglas?
Yes,
Alright. Hey, buddy, how's it going?
I'm good. I've heard a lot about you, and you've obviously heard a lot about me, because, I guess my name travels fast these days anyway, I guess.
Yeah, I've seen your videos on Vita and buttons and all of them. And
Yeah,
what if, just because I want to make sure that there's nothing negative going on about me, what have you heard about me exactly?
I haven't heard anything, to be honest, because, no, I haven't heard anything about you, honestly. Um, if I did, I would tell you, but I haven't heard anything, so you're good.
Alright,
This-
cool.
Yeah.
So you were wondering what's up with Anthony, hey, right?
Yeah, because I haven't talked with him in a while actually, and I kind of heard rumblings like with the whole Mintard situation and the whole mess that's been. So like, what was going on? Because I talked with other people that are close to him, and it's from what it's a big fucking mess. Like what happened specifically?
Well, before we can get into the Minhart situation, and we would need to dial it back to a stream that he did with Vita and Eden, formerly Buttons, a couple weeks ago. Oh, because that's really, that stream is part of the reason why he is against the Minhart GoFundMe situation.
Okay, but why? Because I've heard from people it was because Avita was involved. So I'm
It's not just because of Vita, but also because of Eden. So what happened and was he was doing a stream with Vita, and Eden and jumped in, or rather he brought Eden into the stream, and a couple other people came into the stream, including Brony Inspector, and they were making Eden uncomfortable. So Eden requested that I come in, and so I was brought into the stream. And not long after that, Brony Inspector made a rape joke. Now this made Eden very uncomfortable, and she attempted to vocalize this, only to get shot down by Anthony using a Family Guy joke, which caused her to break down and cry on stream. Now, I decided to take the initiative and tell Eden, hey, you're emotionally compromised, let's get out of the stream, you can talk to me about it. And what I learned from Eden is that our boy Anthony is not squeaky clean and savior of the internet that he likes to claim to be. Namely, that he has a long history of forcing his fetishes onto other people, which includes age play, mommy kink, daddy kink, and a bunch of other shit that Eden was not comfortable with because of her own trauma from her past, and I can empathize because I also have trauma from my past in regards to that shit. And a lot of this is because Anthony just doesn't seem to know how to take no for an answer. And when he does take no, it's condescendingly or with a backhanded tone. And there's also a lot of gaslighting that he would do, and emotional abuse.
just to stop you there. I've heard a lot about this because I actually talked about it in my videos on buttons specifically. I've heard that the whole force and fetishes thing, so that isn't a new thing to me. And I talked about them, and from my findings, I couldn't really specifically find anything where he was like directly like forcing him. And believe me, I tried and I looked through and I couldn't really find anything. But to be fair, I didn't really know the ins and outs of their relationship, so maybe I just missed something down the line. That's certainly possible. I'm not ruling that out, like, to be honest, because and I think you can agree with this. Their relationship was very toxic, and they were just not
Oh,
good.
absolutely.
Eden
actually, Eden show and is working on a Google Drive because we did a 3-hour long call with Chambers of My Heart, it's discussing their relationship and why Anthony has become so toxic towards her. And that video should be up by the end of this week, if not the middle of the week. So once that gets up, I'll shoot the link over to you, and you can take a look through. Because there's a lot of Skype conversations and Discord conversations between the two of them that displays what I was talking about.
Okay, okay, because I mean, I could be wrong, and if he is, if what you're telling me is correct, forcing fetishes, I don't agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with that. Like, I don't mind people having fetishes. I don't really care, but like, if you're going to do it, it should at least be consenting. That's how I see it. And if he is truly doing that, then I will call him out for that at some point. Don't get me wrong. If that is indeed what he did,
Mm-hmm.
because that isn't okay. Regardless of how I personally feel about Buttons, I'll even agree that if he actually did that, that is not okay. Okay, so what went down after that?
What went down after that? Is just as a little aside. Because Eden did not feel comfortable in limbo anymore, I offered her a place amongst my inner circle of friends, and she's been staying there as a way to cope. And after that, word got out that there's a minor who is being molested in her home named Mintheart, and so both Eden and Vita, along with a bunch of other people in the community, including Miss Anthropony, Leo Convoy, and a couple others, have come together to set up a GoFundMe to try and get her out of the situation. And as of right now, it's raised over $1,700 of their $10,000 goal, which is great. However, someone unconnected to Mint Hearts badmouths Anthony on Kiwi Farms, and so at around on I think Friday, Anthony has started working to get the GoFundMe taken down because of some legal bullshit like, oh, minors shouldn't be allowed to have GoFundMes, which is fine.
Wait,
I know.
what?
Yeah.
What? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just shocked. So you're telling me, right? You're telling me that he attempted to have her GoFundMe shut down? Is that what you're telling me?
Because somebody connected to her badmouthed him on Kiwi Farms.
Okay. I knew about I'd heard about somebody like Minthart allegedly talked shit about him in the past, but it wasn't. So what you're telling me, it wasn't even Minthart. It was just someone that was friends with her.
That's what I've managed to gather. And in regards to the whole minors can't have GoFundMe's thing, I mean, Vita figured realized that and has taken steps as by talking with Mintar and offering to manage the money. And I've spoken with Vita in private, and has said, I'm working with her and a bunch of other people to make sure that the money gets to her and gets her to away from her toxic family environment.
Well,
But Anthony is trying to use that to say, oh, Vita is scamming Mentart, which is not true. Well, and once again is trying to get it taken down.
okay. Yeah, well that makes sense though, because I've already I know that Vita is managing the account because he's of age, so
Mm-hmm.
there's no saying that someone else can't manage an account in the person's name. That you can do that. I didn't know I didn't know that he tried to shut the thing down. I just was told that he didn't want to support it because Minhart talked shit about him. I didn't know about that. Um, that is really scummy. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out what I'm supposed to say here because I get that Vita and Anthony don't like each other. Look, I don't really like Vita either. I personally think he's a selfish individual. But with that being said, I I don't understand why he would try to shut down a GoFundMe page of a child that's being molested, that's being verbally and physically abused. That makes no sense to me.
Honestly, from what I've seen over this past week, and from what I've seen from Anthony himself, it's because as he's putting his own ego over the needs of everyone else, and that That for me is very, very familiar. Or I'm sure you're familiar with Lily Orchid, and a lot of what Buttons has told me, and a lot of what Vita has told me, is starting to who cause me to realize that Anthony is what I like to call Lily Part 2. Uh, so we might want to keep a close eye on him.
I mean, if you're, yeah, obviously what you're telling me, obviously we should, considering what you've told me. Like, because I can't even fucking fathom that. Like, it's funny because, I remember Vita doing a similar thing with foul play last year, so I'd assumed that Anthony wouldn't do something similar to that. So it surprised me when he did, and it wraps my it just I don't get that. I do not get that at all. Like, I mean, and I've defended him, and I don't feel bad about that, but at the same time, no, this is pretty scummy. You can't be going around doing shit like that. Like, I know that Vita and Anthony don't like each other and they have this petty beef. That doesn't fucking matter. I don't who cares? That shouldn't matter in this instance. And I know this because I was talking with Tail and a bunch of other people who told me that they had went to Buttons and they had found out that Minhart was being abused, and I said, hey, that's fine. Information is information. It doesn't matter how I personally feel about Buttons. Like, that's not important at this very moment. I'm willing to keep my ego in check because there's a greater situation that is more important. So, I don't understand why Anthony is doing this. It just seems uncharacteristic. I know that seems kind of dumb because I don't know him that well, and you know him better than I do, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
I just...
Yeah, honestly, I honestly don't think I know him that well at all after all this, because I always abide by the rule of the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and I've been hanging around with Anthony because we both have the same goal of bringing Lily Orchid down, and my reasons for wanting to take down Lily, obviously. But after hearing about all the stuff that he's done to Buttons, and apparently him trying to invoke the cops on Vita. I don't have all the details on that, so don't quote me on that. But
Okay.
yeah, the police have gotten involved either on Anthony's side or on Vita's side. It's, if I could uh, get a hold of Vita, I could clarify that for you. Oh, but yeah, after hearing about all that, I'm starting to think that being on Anthony's side isn't the best idea.
Honestly, to be fair, and I want to be clear, I haven't talked with Anthony in a while. I've more or less just been doing my own things, so I don't really know what his headspace is like right now, but it's just kind of... I'll be honest, I'm kind of mad. I think that's a good word to say. I'm just kind of like, what the fuck? What are you doing? Like, this is really not important. Like, could you just put your ego aside for like 1 fucking minute? Like if you want to hate Vita and all those other people later, fine. But that's not important right now. Like, it's like, oh, what are you doing? And then just, I just so you know, I was planning to make a video about Anthony like with next week, but after talking with some other people close to the Minhart situation, they talked me out of it, and so I have decided to put that video on hold for the time being. I'll still make it, but it'll be at some point down the line, maybe within the next few months, at least once everything kind of dies down, because I feel
I
like
would
right now,
personally,
I
I would recommend waiting until after my call with Eden and Chambers of My Heart comes out, because in the description for that, we're going to have a Doodle Drive with all of Anthony's with a big chunk of Anthony's chat logs with Eden involving in the forced fetishes, the age play, and all that crap. So that'll give you a bigger perspective on exactly what kind of character Anthony has been hiding from everybody.
you know what? Despite my dislike of Buttons, I believe you that this is the truth, because especially with Chambers, who I've worked with on several occasions, because it's ironic because me and Chambers worked on that first Buttons video.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's really ironic now.
Mm-hmm.
we really worked on that, and we researched that together along with a lot of other people, and I've worked with her on several other projects. So I know that she knows her shit. She's very good at that. So that's why I believe you, and that's
Mhm.
why I know. That's why I think you're telling the truth here. You know, like I said, I'm probably gonna wait till probably at least January, at least until the new year, until everything at least settles down first. Because right now, I just don't think it's appropriate given the situation. And I'll be honest, yesterday I was kind of running off of emotion because you have to understand, for me, it's very awkward and uncomfortable to call Anthony out because I know him, I've talked with him, and he's never given me the impression that he's a bad person, or maybe my character judgment is flawed, but I never assumed that. So, it's weird for me, but I feel that it's in my best interest to do it because I believe if I'm going to call out Vita on his shitty behavior, I have to be fair and call out Anthony for his shitty behavior too. I mean, it's only fair. That, that's how I see it. And if I will call out Lily on her shitty behavior, which I have done, I should call out Anthony too. I feel like that's only fair because I don't want to be biased.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, again, it's just awkward for me and uncomfortable, but I have to do it. It's just, I mean, I can't. I wouldn't feel morally okay just letting this kind of shit go on and say, no, it's okay. No, he can do this shit because we're acquaintances. I know him, so it's okay. That makes it okay because he's a big name. So it's not though. It's not okay, like under any circumstances. And at this point, I mean, I don't really care if he goes after me or makes a how not to brony about me or whatever the case may be. I'm prepared for all of those contingencies at this point.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
same. I'm
I'm
fully
prepared.
prepared for once this call gets out for him to kick me out of limbo and do a video on me. The only problem is, and I feel it'll be the same for when he tries to target you. But my record is completely clean. I've never heard done any sort of aggressive role play. I've never heard made my fetishes public or anything like that outside of saying this character makes me feel so gay in a let's play video. But other than that, I mostly keep my shit private, and I'm sure you're the exact same way.
I mean, yeah. I mean, everybody has their fetishes. Everybody has some weird shit they're into, as long as it's legal, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But typically, people just kind of keep that shit private. Typically, and uh, I don't know. It's just to me, I'm surprised Chambers was like really on board because me and her worked together on the Buttons video, and we were really kind of steadfast at kind of debunking the claims months ago. So this is kind of a weird turn of events that I never thought would happen. But hey, I mean, fuck. I mean, hey, I'm willing to admit I might have been wrong. I'm willing to admit that I might have been wrong.
That makes you a bigger man than Anthony. I'll tell you that right now. And part of the reason why Chambers was so okay with listening to Buttons is because I was there. I don't like to tune my own horn, but I've throughout this year I've just been saying on the sidelines and letting people come to me with their issues about people and say, all right, I'll listen to you. I'll listen to you. Oh, and if I need you to listen to somebody else, I ask that you do so. And so far, people have. So,
yeah. I mean, it's just weird to me, and I'm prepared for whatever Anthony does because I'm planning to make a video about Mint Heart tomorrow and posting it, and I'm pretty sure I can probably already see it coming. I'm pretty sure by tomorrow or within the next few days, he'll call me. He'll invite me into a Skype call, and it won't be pleasant. I can already see that kind of coming, to be honest, because he'll think that I'm turning my back on him.
well, if that happens, I'm going to give you the exact same advice that I do. I have Buttons. Insist that it be mano a mano and stand your ground. Because what his most common tactic is to round up all of his buddies and dogpile somebody. Hell, I was there for one of his dogpilings, and it's not pretty. But
Just to be honest, Blake, how likely is it that you think that he'll gather up his friends to dogpile me, even though I've defended him and even though we were not necessarily friends or acquaintances?
All right, sorry about that.
Yeah, but as I was saying before, how likely do you think it is? How likely do you think it is for Anthony to dogpile me, even though I defended him, and even though we were not necessarily friends but acquaintances? How likely do you think he'll do that to me?
Given his current headspace and how he's been throwing temper tantrums on Twitter, excuse me, I'd say hey, the odds of him going after anybody who doesn't toe his line is very, very high. So I would definitely brace myself if I was you.
I mean, yeah, I'm prepared for that at this point, and and I'm fearful for my other friends like Fable Tale and Molly Massacre and a bunch of other people too that know Anthony as well. Because I'm kind of fearful for them that he'll might if what you're telling me is true, I'm fearful that he might go after them too. I
Mm,
mean, clearly, because clearly I'm not safe, even though I've made videos defending him. Now I realize I probably have an egg on my face now.
I'm
Um,
sure a lot of us do. Oh, but
like I'm not willing to say he's a bad person because I don't know him like that.
mm-hmm,
But this is not. I can't. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this is okay because it's not. It's really not. Like
mm-hmm.
that's ridiculous. I'm not going to say, "Oh yeah, he tried to get a child's GoFundMe page taken down. A child that's being molested because somebody that was a friend of hers talked shit about it in the past." That's fine. Because Minhart, she's an insignificant piece of shit, and Anthony's a bigger name. That's fine. No, I'm not gonna say that. That's ridiculous. It's just that's that's dumb, and I don't feel like that's just morally repugnant. It really is, and
Mm-hmm.
because I know people that have talked about this and are just I've talked with Spoken Mind is angry, and Cool Stroke, and a lot of other people I know are really angry about this. It's just but hey,
Quill Stroke actually has several reasons to be angry. Maybe because, as according into Eden, and he he's done he's done this repeatedly, which is rub the fact that he has a new significant other into the face of his ex significant other, and he's actually been and simultaneously doing that at the buttons with his girlfriend, who I shall not name because I
I
was
think
asked
I
not
know
to.
I think I know who you're talking about. Is it and I just so we're clear here, just is it Grace? Because I think is it Grace? I just
Yes,
want is it her? Okay.
yeah,
Okay, I
but
just wanted to make
his
sure. I just because I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure. Fuck. I wasn't sure if they were still together, so I just want to be clear if that was. I've
they're
talked
an
to Grace.
on again off again thing,
Oh,
and but also oh even while they were together, Anthony he was behind Grace's back, uh, trying to get back together with Buttons. And during
wait,
that
what?
stream
Hold-
where all of this started,
What?
he actually he once Buttons left and once I left, he actually said to Leo, "Oh, I know you said not to get to try and get back with her, but I'm very lonely," which implies that at that time he and Grace were not a thing, and so he was trying to
Wait, what?
get
When
back
did
with
this
Buttons.
happen?
Like they were, he tried to say, "Hey, oh, we're just gonna be friends," but he continued to flirt with her and try and get her to read, hey, catch feelings for him, which is a really shitty thing to do.
What? Hold up. When did this happen?
This has happened over the course of a few months, as from what I've been told. Again, once the Dordle drive is complete, we'll have a set timeline for when everything has happened.
Oh God. But that's weird because I've talked to Grace. She's a really nice person.
Mm-hmm.
She's super sweet. I've talked with her. I did not know that. Because she kept telling me about how crazy she was. Kept telling me. So you're telling me that's bullshit? Is that because Anthony told me and several other people how crazy Buttons was for months and how they weren't going to get back together and blah 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 blah. So you're telling me that's all bullshit? Is that what you're telling me? Because
Yeah, it's like the second they stopped and they started talking to each other. or he started to flirt with her and try and get her to want to get back together with him. And
Are you
despite the fact that at the time, and as of right now, he has a different boyfriend, and also a lot of their talks would he would try to push it to be sexual. Like whenever she'd come to him for relationship advice, he'd always try and convince her that sexual advice would be the most appropriate. That like saying, oh, you need to get your boyfriend to teach you how to masturbate or some shit like that. Despite the fact that she's suffered a lot of sexual trauma. So
Well, I
yeah.
suppose she's had a difficult past, clearly. Uh, I'm just. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm just shocked. I'm not saying I don't believe you. I do. I'm just fucking shocked. Because I'm getting really mad right now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying really hard to not get mad, but it's really difficult. Because I stuck my neck out for him. I went out and said, oh, this is bullshit, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I put myself out there in the risk of, the wrath of the Brony analysis community. And I did that because, I wanted to help. Apparently that's bullshit, and I just made myself look like a fucking idiot, apparently, I guess.
I wouldn't say it made you look like an idiot, and I'd say more of hindsight is 20, and time makes fools of us all. Like, fuck. I'd feel like a fool for sitting back and not trying to dig deeper or while all of this was happening and just being completely in the dark.
I thought I was convinced that it was all bullshit, and I digged as deep as I could. I couldn't fucking find anything, but apparently you and Chambers were more successful than I was, clearly. Clearly. How much information did you find?
Everything that we found was because of Eden and all the different and Skype chats and Discord chats that she has with Anthony, which will be made available to the public once the call I had with her is finished editing and gets uploaded to my channel.
God fucking damn it. I don't know what to say. It's just, I mean, like, I guess in a way I was convinced that, that there wasn't anything incriminating with Anthony other than him just being a bad boyfriend. That's what I was convinced. Boy, I'm feeling pretty stupid right now, clearly, and everyone else that supported him clearly feels dumb. Like,
I'm used to it, as I've had my fair share of dealing with controversial figures. Like, I've made it no secret that I am to this day still friends with the infamous Pinky Tunes, or Pinky Posh, whatever you want to call her, and as before, I got my start with this whole bullshit by being friends with Lily. And so this is nothing new to me.
I mean, this is. I don't want to. I know this is going to seem like a pretty far stretch, but this does seem like the kind of shit Lily Pete would do. That's what it sounds like to me, because it just sounds insane.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane and ridiculous, and just like. And I say that because Lily, in a way, did something similar by turning her back on Josh Scorcher and numerous other people that she was friends with, because I know she did it to Josh and Brittany because they didn't want to toe the line, and they didn't want to put up with her bullshit anymore. Specifically,
oh, believe me, I know. I was the first victim of her backstabbing.
I know this because she went after Josh after he fired her because she wasn't getting work done on time, because she refused to edit several FLB Equestria episodes, and because Josh, it's what he does is a legitimate business, and since other people can't get paid until the videos go up, he was just slowing production down, so Josh had no choice but to fire her. And then Lily said that she understood and then started attacking him. I know she went after Brittany after abusing her multiple times, and I know she went after you because of, well, I've talked about it in my videos as well. Mm-hmm. So it almost seems similar in a way. It almost seems very similar, because it just, God, if based on what you've told me, I'm getting the impression that Lily and Anthony are really just as selfish as each other. Is if what you're saying is correct, clearly, because I don't know, it just seems similar to me. It seems odd. Now, I wouldn't go as far as to say he's the new Lily Pete yet, but this is certainly
Us
troubling. Yeah,
after the call gets up, you might change your mind, and because some of the things that he did, uh, not just to Eden, but also to Grace, and uh, if it turns if Twilstroke and Kichi and all of his other exes has wind up coming to me as well, oh then yeah, we might have another Lily or worse, another Toon Critic on our hands.
God forbid. I mean, because yeah, I know her hit. I know Anthony and Quill used to be a thing, and they parted amicably. Is that bullshit too? I mean,
I
because
have
I
no
just.
idea. I haven't talked to Twilstroke in a long time.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll ask her about it at some point. Like I don't really know, but I'm just questioning it because in a way I feel lied to in a way. I kind of do because um I put my reputation on the line for this,
Yeah.
clearly, and people trust me because of my reputation, and people trust me because of my integrity, and I take that very seriously. And in a way, Anthony's kind of tarnished it with this shit, clearly.
Hmm.
um, and I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about it because it makes me look bad. It makes the people I've worked with, like Fable and Chambers, look terrible. Fuck it makes hell. It even makes people that I worked with on research look fucking terrible. So I'm not only angry for myself, I'm angry for all of the people that worked with me in trying to disprove these claims. I feel bad for them because they're gonna look fucking awful. Honestly, and I kind of I fear that Anthony will go after them. I mean, fuck it. I mean, if what you're saying is correct, fuck, he'll probably go after me. When I make this Minhart video tomorrow, I'm prepared for it at this point. I'm prepared for whatever comes. Clearly, I mean, if he wants to call me a backstabber and a traitor, fine. I mean, whatever. I mean, I've been called every name in the book at this point. I mean, hell, Lily essentially Lily P probably thinks I'm a neo-Nazi at this point, so nothing phases
Despite
me.
the fact that you're black. That's
Well,
the
no,
funniest thing.
apparently somebody, apparently she used the thumbnail of my first video on her as like I guess as proof that like people on the alt right were calling her a Nazi and like blah blah blah. I couldn't see the actual post because she had a you could only sign up to Tumblr. You could only see it if you signed up to Tumblr, and I didn't want to do that just to see it. And then when she removed that threshold, it was gone because the whole pile of posts were gone. So I don't really know, but seriously, I am just clearly prepared for whatever's going to happen at this point. I mean,
Mm.
I don't take pleasure in it. I don't feel good about it because it is uncomfortable and awkward for me. But I'm gonna do it. I'm going to do it because this kind of behavior needs to be called out. It just is, and and if he goes after me, then so be it at this point. Um, but again, this is just I'm really really shocked. So he was essentially lying to me when he told me how crazy Buttons, or he kept proclaiming how crazy Buttons was and all this other shit. Like clearly, because you have to
Well, that's
understand.
that's that is not the case entirely. Yes, that's a lot of what Anthony said was far fetched, but at the same time, it was very clear that Buttons was not ready to jump head first into this whole analysis, critique, debate, hate shit like so many of us are. And when uh, hell, even I recognize that, which is why when she made her apology video, oh, I said that I would forgive her if she got help, and she did get help, which is why when she broke down, I offered her a place amongst my friends, and so that she wouldn't be alone and regress back to where she was before.
I'm angry because, because I defended Anthony so vigorously, Buttons not only harassed me, but everyone else that was associated with him because we believed in Anthony. We had to go through months of abuse only to find out, oh, Anthony wanted to get back with her all along, and it was all bullshit. Like, I'm sorry I'm raising my voice here, but I'm really fucking mad because I had to deal with a lot of bullshit. My channel was almost shut down. The people around me were harassed for fucking months, only to find out, oh, you want to get back with her because I'm lonely. Are you? I'm sorry. I'm so fucking angry. It's just so. Fuck. It's just. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna calm down. I'm
It's
just angry.
understandable.
Yeah, I'm just angry because I put myself out there, only to find out that he was trying to get back with her behind the scenes without telling us. I mean, he wanted to get back with her. I wouldn't have agreed to it, I wouldn't have agreed with it. But if he wanted to get back with her, fine. I'm not going to control him. I'm not going to say, oh, you shouldn't do that. It's his life. He can do whatever he fucking wants. But he should have at least told us. At least. He should have just at least been honest with us. But he failed to mention that. He failed to mention that to me and many others, and I feel bad for Grace, clearly, because she's so a nice person. She's incredibly sweet, and she doesn't deserve this. Hell, she didn't want to be involved with any of this shit. So I just want to ask, does she know about any of this? Is she aware of this? Or is she completely in the dark? Because
Buttons has tried to talk to her about some of the shit that's been going on, but it's whenever she does, Anthony interjects and starts playing mind games with her, or saying, "Oh, you're trying to take away, this girl who I love from me," and which we all know is bullshit. The main, we've all come to the conclusion that the main reason and why he went after Grace is because she's in many respects a similar person to Buttons, but easier to control, which makes it more scummy than originally.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty fucking wrong. There's no doubt about that. And like I said, I've talked with her. She's incredibly sweet. She's really nice. And look, like I remember when I made the video on Vita and I accidentally said her name as evidence. And when she found out about it, she said, "Hey, you should take that down and cut my part out. I don't want to be involved in this." And I'll admit, I fucked up in that situation. That was a mistake. I was being a bit impulsive, so I took it down, cut her part out, and then reposted it. It was no big deal. Yeah, I got a lot of views on it initially, and it was well received, but I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. It's views. I can easily get those back. It's whatever. It's a temporary inconvenience. I'll do that. I was willing to put my ego aside in that situation to do that because she values her privacy, and I didn't want to upset her. It's one of those things you have to manage when you become a bigger channel like mine.
Mm-hmm.
You tend to fuck up a lot more. But I was willing to do that. I wasn't going to say, well, fuck you. I'm just going to keep it up, because I was considerate to her feelings. And I'm not even with her. I'm not even in the relationship, and I was more considerate to her feelings than Anthony was, based on what you've told me, clearly. It's just, God fucking damn it. I feel kind of betrayed in a way.
Oh, believe me, a lot of us do.
I mean, like I said before, if he wanted to get back with Buttons, he should have just told us. Sure, we wouldn't have agreed with it, but if he had told us, fine. I wouldn't have cared. I really wouldn't have. But he didn't. He failed to mention that and convinced all of us that, oh, I'm happy with Grace, everything's great, I'm not getting back with Buttons, she's a crazy bitch. As bullshit. Is complete fucking bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And fuck, me and my friends went through months of harassment because of this. which took years off of our lives, that deeply angered people, that deeply, it was horrible. It is absolutely horrible. And so to find out that, but I went through it assuming that it was all worth it. And clearly it wasn't. In hindsight now, clearly, I mean, you have to, Fable Tale got information leaked, private conversations, and I don't want to really get into it, but what I'm saying is that numerous people that I know very personally were so fervent in defending him, and we went through the trouble of doing so. And it was all, I'll be honest with you, at one point this whole thing got so bad that I had a headache and sharp chest pains because of this shit at one point. I'm not even joking.
Mm.
That's how bad this situation has gone, but I went through it because I assumed it was all kosher. Fuck. Clearly it wasn't. Clearly it wasn't. And I remember Brittany told me, and like, you know, I didn't believe it at first, but the evidence is there. I think he, might have done some of this shit, or he might be, whatever. And I was just like, I don't really believe it, but I can see where you're coming from. Apparently, Brittany was telling the truth, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't see it. I think no one really did. How could we at the time, right?
He had us all fooled.
And clearly, I mean, like, we thought it was all done. We wanted to move on, and, we thought we're done with buttons. We've seen everything we need to see, clearly. Now I can see that Brittany was warning me indirectly. And in a way, I kind of blew her off. Nicely, of course, but I was just like, I don't really believe this shit. Now I kind of feel like a bit of an asshole. Ugh. Yeah.
At least you acknowledge it.
It wasn't that I wanted to dismount her efforts. At the time, I wasn't really convinced. Why would I be? I mean, because he had us all believing this was the case. I find that to be completely, like, but I don't understand why he would want to get back with Buttons after repeatedly saying that she was crazy and mentally ill, and saying that he didn't want to deal with her anymore. I don't understand why he would want to get back with her, and I don't understand why he would lie to us about it and keep that hidden.
I think it's because, and I would need him to re-clarify this by talking to Twillstroke and Teachy and anyone else he's dated. He has a history of going for people who aren't all there, or who have mental problems, because they're easier to control and easier to manipulate and easier to mold into his perfect person. And he's not exactly the great at finding people who are sane, in which I can relate. It's so he feels like he got the most distance by abusing her.
That's
just my hypothesis, though.
I don't understand. I'd have to talk. I'll probably talk to Quill about it, but I mean, I know this is gonna sound far fetched, but based on what you've just told me, I'm told it's totally not out of the realm of possibility that he might have went after Quill because she was emotionally vulnerable. I'm not saying that is the case. I don't know their relationship like that, but I am saying, based on what you've told me, that it's possible. That it's certainly possible. It just, like, but why would he trick me like that? I assume that he thought highly of me, that he liked what I did, and that he valued me as a person. So, I went to him for advice, and I assumed he was somebody that I could trust. I just don't understand why he would lie to me.
It's very similar to Lillian, in the sense that as long as you're kissing his ass, oh yeah, he'll put you on a pedestal. Oh, he'll make you think you're the salt of the earth. But once you stop being useful to him, or worse, as you pull a slight on him in any sense, even if any sane person wouldn't think it's a slight, it's then and suddenly you're nothing to him. And even when you are put on a pedestal, he might think nothing of it. He might think, oh, I'm just this person is just a pawn for me.
I, I guess I guess because I was a smaller channel and he's bigger than me, that I guess he felt that he could take advantage of me because I'm smaller. I don't really have. I have some influence. I have connections, but I'm not like him. I'm not like a big name, So I guess, and the people that my friends with, they're, in terms of subscribers and influence, they're way lower than me. So they don't have any power. They don't have any name or influence. So I'm assuming that he thought that myself and Fable and Foxwell and Season and everyone else could be easily manipulated because we don't have any pull. We don't have any influence. Clearly, if I know I'm jumping to conclusions here, but I don't know. I can't think of any other reason as to why he would kind of string us along like this. And I feel bad. I feel bad for Chambers because she's a nice person too, and in terms of subscribers, she has more than me, but we're around 2,000. So, because she's very good at what she does, and she knows her shit, and we've worked together on multiple occasions. I feel bad for her because she stuck her neck out on the line, and now she looks terrible, and it's just okay. Because I know you and him had a bit of a spat on Twitter, because I saw it in my feed. I guess I don't know what that was about, but
that was me calling him out for his whole I'm attacking Minhart, Hearts GoFundMe thing, and then I'm sitting here like, dude, a kid's being molested. You really can't put your ego to the side? The fuck? But he hasn't kicked me out of limbo yet. And he messaged me saying, hey, I'm going to make a video about it either on Friday or on Monday. And since there hasn't been a video out yet, I'm guessing that video is going to be out today.
Well, I'm also in limbo on Discord. I'm also in there as well, so, I mean, if I get kicked out, I won't be surprised. I mean, it's just, I feel bad. I not only feel bad for Minthart, I feel bad for my friends. Because I know these guys. I spent months working with them, talking with them, shooting the shit with them, and they're nice people. They're all incredibly sweet. And I have a connection with them. If in a way they're kind of like my second family. I adore those guys very highly. So, and I never thought that they could be used or manipulated. I'd assumed that wouldn't happen. But what I'm thinking happened is because he assumed that because we don't have very much pull, that he could just easily manipulate us. That's what I'm thinking happened here. And I guess because I made good videos in the past, or I'd made videos on Lily Pete, or I guess because my channel's really grown a lot this year, so I do have more influence now, but you have to understand, he's a big name. He has a lot of pull. I really don't. I don't. So if he wants to make me disappear tomorrow, he could do that, clearly. And I don't like being manipulated. I don't like being lied to, and I don't like being, kind of strung along. And
nobody does.
It's so. Look, I'm not gonna take the Buttons videos down because I feel like that kind of be a knee-jerk reaction to that, because everyone worked really hard on those videos, so I feel like that would be unfair.
Right, and at the time, they were true, because she wasn't in the right headspace. But she's grown, she's acknowledged her mistakes, and I've recognized that, and I've forgiven her. I'm not asking you to forgive her. But I am asking you to keep an open mind if we need to do another call like this, and you need to speak with her in regards to her past with Anthony.
If I will do that if that's what it takes, clearly, and I spend so much time researching and looking through the claims and working with it's. And when I made the first Buttons video, and I was hoping that because Fable and Foxwell would get a higher profile because they don't have that many subscribers. So I was trying to help them out, and I feel bad that they were manipulated clearly, and I feel bad that Quill and Molly and the whole host of other people were. It's a lot of people know this guy,
Mm-hmm.
and my name is connected to this, and it feels really, really, really slimy, and clearly it just. So do you think he was like using me as a pawn because of my lower subscriber count? Is that it? Is
I feel like he was using everybody. Hey, anyone who would listen to him and would shoot the shit with him. He felt like he had his claws dug into you, who and could sit you after whoever might be trying to give him a bad name.
I just want you I want to be very clear here. I defended Anthony out of my own free will. He didn't force me to do it. He didn't put a gun in my head. I chose to do that because I felt like he was being persecuted. Just so we're clear on that.
Mm-hmm.
And Anthony saw that and clearly saw me as a loyal person, and then took advantage of that. Like, I wish I had seen it earlier. At the time I didn't, but I mean, for as much shit as Lily and Anthony give to each other and talk about how they're both terrible people, I mean honestly, they're both kind of selfish. They're both kind of, it's just
Narcissistic psychopaths? Yeah, trust me, I know.
it's I guess it was ominous. Because I think Mad Plushie the other day said, "Look at what your buddy FNGR did." I didn't really think about it, but now I just like, oh shit, he wasn't. Oh shit, oh, this is what he did. I guess that's what he was referring to. Look what he did, and yeah. I mean, it's just okay. I've been told that Coolstroke suffers from PTSD. Um, I
Seems
don't
to
know.
me, but all right.
Yeah, she does. I'm not sure why. I'd have to ask. But apparently, she does. And Anthony, raised his voice. He essentially yelled so much that it triggered it.
Mm.
And apparently, he came into one of the calls. Because bitching about Vita and blah blah blah, Mint Hard and whatever, and just would go in and out, and it was a whole mess from what I had been told. God, it's just, I guess, I've gone in a lot of trust issues over the years because I've had a lot of people screw me over the years. So it's, and I try to be careful with who I trust and who, I keep around my inner circle.
Mm.
So, and I try to ensure that the judgment is there, but sometimes it really isn't. And I guess I worry about fucking Lily catching on to this and using it as a way to paint the entire Brony analysis community as a horrible place. That's what I fear the most about all of this shit. That's what I'm afraid of.
Right now, Lily is Lily is the big fish, but right now we got to deal with Anthony.
I mean, I intend to deal with him after the Minhart thing, so I'm terrified at the prospect of having to call him out, but I have to do it. I can't sit back and just let this go on.
Mm.
I mean, would it do a dent in his reputation? I don't know. I can't say that it would, because he has a lot of influence within the community, so probably not. If I have
Well, thankfully we're not the only ones who are going to be. We're not just doing this through our own exposure. Uh, uh Eden Buttons has joined a group for the YouTuber Chaos 5TT, who has like somewhere around 300,000 subscribers, which is more even than Mr. Medicare. Or so once my call gets out and once Vita's stuff gets out, Chaos will help spread the word about it, and thus will make our stuff bigger than Anthony, and we'll probably send him into damage control mode, or he'll just shut down for good. I have no idea.
I mean, I have I do have a good reach because my channel is larger now. It's well over 2,400 subscribers, so it does have some reach. But again, compared to Anthony, it's to be fair, he has 3,000 more subscribers to me, so it's not a huge gap. But just in terms of influence, it really is, and yeah. Because I'd heard that he has been in multiple relationships and they've all ended pretty badly or ended not in the best frame of mind. I guess I'm just kind of so okay. So he literally flaunted the fact that he was with Grace to Quill's face. Is that what you're telling
He
me?
he flaunted the fact that he was with his Buttons to Quill, and then later turned around and flaunted the fact that he was with Grace to Eden, and while simultaneously trying to get back with Eden, and because I don't fucking know. Oh,
I just
he likes the idea of having a harem, I guess.
that's funny. I just I guess it shocks me because Quill seemed okay with it. She was laughing, shooting the shit. She didn't seem to mind it. So, and we didn't think anything of it because I was there in some of those calls where we talked about Grace and the fact that they were in a relationship. So, I assumed Quill was fine with it, or at least I assumed that everything was kosher, but apparently it wasn't. Um, I didn't know that he was doing that to. Did he do that in the presence of Grace or when she didn't know?
I'm guessing when she didn't know, because was from what Eden has told me from their private talks, Grace is almost completely in the dark with all of this.
Oh fuck! Oh god! I feel bad for her when this comes out because oh boy.
I'm gonna do my
That's
best to keep her name out of it. It's simply because like you said and like Eden has said, Grace doesn't want her name, her reputation tarnished by all of this drama.
which is a good thing, but to be honest with you, Blake, I don't think that'll do any good. She'll probably find out somehow. I don't know how, but she'll probably find out.
Hmm.
I think she's a smart enough person to put two and two together.
Sorry, just real quick. Do you had we can talk more about this another time, but do you have all the info you need? Because I've
I,
given you everything I've got.
I've pretty much got it. Yes.
All right.
All
Well
right.
then,
Thanks for the talk, Blake. This has been really eye-opening and insightful, and I'll talk with some of my other friends, and then I'll decide how to proceed from there. But thank you.
of course.